It's been a while. It's been a while since I actually done everything, decorated some of my stuff back here, and got a bunch of plushies over there. But enough about my room, because I don't think you would. Human eyes cannot evaluate how messy my room is right now. But enough of that. We're here to talk about the top animated films. My list, of course, for the best and worst animated films of 2016, and I would say that it's been a very, like, out of everything that has happened in 2016, mostly negative, it has been a really fantastic year for animation to get recognized now. I mean, let's just say Finding Dory's Utopia both hit $1 billion at the box office, and some were very successful in regards to, oh my god, my hair, very regards to pretty much studio success and it getting recognized. It was also for a year of furries, because I can count down at least a couple of animated films that had like talking animals in it. So that's a plus. I mean, I'm pretty sure all the furries are happy. and but for me personally, I would say that a lot of the year, like, I could at least count a couple of films that were all around, great films, great animated films that came out this year. But for me, that category has to go to the mediocre part of this year. Because while there was some surprising and very great animated films to come out, I think this was also a year for mediocrity to come face to face and highlight. Because I've seen a lot of mediocre animated films in my day that didn't really offer much, and I have actually a list of worst mediocrity to best mediocrity, and it's a total about 6 films on here, and at least I can say 2 that are actually bad, and then the rest are, from good to my favorite. So we're just gonna be counting down from there. And just to clarify, I have not seen Ratchet and Clank or The Wildlife. To be fair, I don't think they would have broken anything. I think those would have been just in the plain bad or mediocre. I think I would put Ratchet and Clank as, probably really mediocre, and The Wildlife bad or boring, as people are calling it right now. To be completely honest, either I did not have time to go see them, or just wasn't really interested in watching it, because I knew that it wasn't gonna change my list either way. And right now, like, having 13 films that I have watched on my list, this seems like a good number. 13, like, the unluckiest number, but I think it's a good number. So we're gonna start with number 13, and of course, I did not review this movie when it came out, because everybody was already reviewing it, and yeah, you guessed, it's Norm of the North. It's Norm of the North, and I would say that, like, what can I clarify that everybody hasn't seen it? The animation's terrible. The plot is unbelievably, horribly paced and very, very contrived. And the characters are, one-note cliches, or they're too stupid or dumb, or everything that everybody has said about this animation, or anybody who has seen this film knows what everybody's been talking about. Heck, there's whole reviews discussing why Norm of the North does not work, and go into full detail and actually do that as, like, an analytic review of it. And I just find it fascinating that movie came out theatrically. Somebody said somewhere that this would make money, and it didn't. It bombed. So hopefully this will, like, teach these studios a lesson, or maybe they won't. I don't know. They just keep on releasing DVD movies sometimes to theaters, and it just, when are they going to realize that always fails? That always fails. So that's pretty much all I had to say about Norm of the North. I know I didn't give, like, a full description of it, but go watch any other review of Norm of the North. They're going to trash that film. They're going to say some really, really bad stuff about it. And they can explain it better than I can. And also, another film that I didn't review, because I just thought it was also a bad movie. I thought, while Norm of the North was a very bad movie, I would never show it to anybody, really. Ice Age is something that I wouldn't show to actual kids themselves, because I think kids are better than that. I think kids are better than sitting through Norm of the North or Ice Age Collision Course. I like to call Ice Age 5. I think kids are better than that, because the most thing I felt for is that I felt cringeworthy through this film. I actually felt cringeworthy through, like, just sitting there and watching all of these jokes, all of these kid level based jokes being put into this, and you're like, oh well, kids are gonna understand these jokes, and at least they're not using pop culture references and stuff like that. Oh wait, they are using it, and they're using it in the most painful way possible, because I've seen TV shows and movies for I hate to say using that word for kids. I would say for our younger audience out there that does it correctly. I would say that the best one out there is We Bare Bears. We Bare Bears, like, if you haven't seen We Bare Bears, it's probably one of the best new renaissance that we're getting in cartoons. It's probably one of the better shows out there, and that TV show deals with technology, but it does it in a way that just feels natural. It doesn't like go in your face, because it knows that it's about these three main characters just living out their lives, and it knows about that, and it doesn't try to shove technology in your face while technology is still there. So yeah, it's just really upsetting to me that Blue Sky still wants to continue this. And that's why I think that Blue Sky, while they have made, better movies, like the Peanuts movie, which I loved, I put it, like, number 1 on, 2015. I put it on number 1 because that movie just spoke to me. I think Blue Sky really needs to get their act together. I would rather them be making Peanuts movies than making another freaking Ice Age movie, because it's just tiring. It's tiring. I want it to stop. But no, this film grossed so much money. We're gonna get a 6th one. Who's excited for a 6th Ice Age movie? I don't think anybody is. I hope they bomb. I hope somewhere somebody needs to get like smacked, because nobody wants to go see another Ice Age movie. Nobody cares. I stopped caring probably after the 3rd one. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm finished. No more. That's why I didn't do a review of it, because it was just so boring. It's so mediocre. And everything. But you know what? Ice Age, Norm of the North, those are bad. Now we go into the 6 movies that I actually found mediocre from best to worst. And starting with the worst is Storks. And looking at the trailer for Storks, I was not expecting much from it. I know that the animation was done from Sony Image, so I know that it was, going to be very cartoony style animation. But this was probably, a lot of these ones I didn't review. I did not review or make a video of. I did not make a video in Norm North, Ice Age, Storks, Sing, because they were all, what could I say about them? You would get the shortest review ever. It's boring, it's cheap, and I can't find anything to say about it. And that's probably why I did not review Storks, because it was probably also it was the most boring, funniest movie I've ever seen. And for something that's supposed to be comedy, the comedy in there was something that I have seen in animated films before and done better. I cannot really say much about that, nor can I say much about Sing, which is another one from Illumination Studios, which Illumination has been skyrocketing to the top. That's probably above DreamWorks right now, and it's just below Pixar and Disney as the animation company that has just skyrocketed to the billions. And so far, Sing doesn't really qualify as one of their better movies. I think something like Despicable Me and Despicable Me 2 is better than any of those. And Sing was a very light-hearted film, but the way it was paced and the way the camera would literally cut to the next character, it was something where they had too many characters on screen. And I only see those in sequels to animated films, but now you're doing an actual original film, and it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that you have this many characters on the screen that you constantly have to cut back to, which none of them will get time to develop at all. I just can't believe that, you know, a movie like that was like that much paced and just swapped from one person to the other. I can't believe that was, you know, allowed through per se. And it was bad. It was just, I wouldn't say it was bad. It was just, again, these are the mediocre films that I found. And number 9, of course, is Angry Birds movie. While I found that it was uniquely designed and it captured the somewhat spirit of the actual Angry Birds game, you're doing a game that involves birds being slingshotted to pigs' houses. And I don't think you're going to get much plot out of it, and they really didn't really get much out of it. I mean, I found it interesting that the character who we followed is, you know, one despicable, you know, character, a very despicable, angry type character. But I did not really feel sympathy for him or anybody else, and it was just another one of those boring animated films that I've seen done over and over again. And that's probably the worst thing that I could ever see. Like, I can see Ice Age and Norm as, you know, terrible, and I will never watch them. These I will definitely never watch because they don't give anything to me. And probably the most controversial that is going to be probably appearing on my list is number 8 in the mediocre category is Moana. And it was very, very disappointing to me. It was probably the most disappointing animated film that I've seen this year. And coming from Disney, who released another animated film that was so much better, you can tell which one is better, per se. It's kind of like when Pixar released Inside Out, and they also released The Good Dinosaur in the same year. It's like that. It's like that, but to me, Moana is much better than The Good Dinosaur, but I would say that they follow the Disney formula to a T in this, that it doesn't change anything. The only thing good, I would say, besides, you know, the only thing good I would say, honestly, about Moana is the soundtrack. I lighten up on the soundtrack, and I think some songs are recommendable to the younger audience over there. But other than that, I cannot say anything else about Moana, I just wish Disney would do better. I wish Disney would do better with these princess films, because so far they have not impressed me. I think that's why Princess and the Frog, to me, is the better of the new Renaissance Disney princesses. And that's why I love Princess and the Frog. I love that movie. And then it got kind of less and less recognizable to me. They're just all starting to blend together. They're all starting to be the same to me. And I don't want Disney to go down this road. I'd much rather them stick to original animated films and not go back to their other ones. But, you know, the princess films also make money as well, and Disney needs that money. But I don't know why, because they own Star Wars, they own Marvel, which is already bringing them money already. So please, Disney, just don't be mediocre. That's the one thing. Don't become like these other mediocre films. Like the next one that is from another animation studio that I look highly of, or not as highly. I think Disney is better, but Pixar releasing their Finding Dory, which is an unnecessary sequel in my opinion. It's a very unnecessary sequel. And, you know, when I look back on it, when I look back at Finding Nemo, which I grew up with and I loved, I look at Finding Dory and say, I'm not going to really remember you because I think of the original more than I think of you. And it's just the fact that it kind of succumbed to the type of sequel cliches that you see in animated films. It succumbed to what you see in mediocre kids movies. And I didn't really have Like, even in the review, I did not really have much to say about it, per se. And I don't really have much to say about these 6, so that's why I'm rambling, and you probably clicked off the video already, but, you know, it's just my video, what are you going to do about it? And then the final one, which I think is the best out of these mediocre films, is The Sacred Life of Pets. And I think that this film was designed uniquely enough to warrant the best of them, personally, but its mediocrity still, I don't think it rose to really much of a top, because I'm looking for something that I haven't seen before, and it didn't really give me much of that either. These 6 films didn't really give me much of anything, per se. That's why I'm rambling and talking and stuff like that, but these films don't give me much. And to me, that's the worst sin, if you could just bore me or give me mediocrity. And that's the worst thing to do to me. Sitting there in the theater, just watching your movie, saying, I'm not going to remember you the next day. So, that's the worst thing about it. With Ice Age and Norm of the North, I remember for how bad they were. These, I don't remember at all. So, the next one is the better half of the list, which we're going to be going to right now. And this one is number 5, which is Trolls, which was a very, very welcoming surprise to me. I know a lot of people are saying, well, how could you put Trolls over Moana or Finding Dory? Because, for me, I could say that it looks like the best comparison I can say to it is that it looks like the Care Bears movie, but translated to pretty much this generation. And I feel like that it's one of those movies, one of those very, very child-friendly movies from that time period, and just brought over here, and I would say that it's probably the most unique out of everybody, besides Kubo and the Two Strings. And to me, if you make your film unique, and I'll remember it for its art style. And I remember this art style, the little felts that you can literally make at your own home. That's clever. That's really, really great. And while I kind of am worried about, you know, whenever one of these movies came out, I actually like, you know, some of the soundtrack that it came out with, and I listen to it I listen to it almost every day. So Trolls might not have much in terms of story, and, you know, the characters, you know, kind of, they could be a little bit of a mixed for you, but I think it's more memorable than anything of the mediocrity list right here. Number 4 is Kung Fu Panda 3, which is a really great, I think I would say conclusion. I don't know if they're going to be making any more, but I think for now, I think it's a really good conclusion to the Kung Fu Panda series in general. Because I really, again, with the animation being, like, you know, beautiful, half of it done in China, which is just amazing to me. I can't believe they would allow China to take, like, some part of control over the animation. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And, you know, with the story having, like, a nice conclusion, not being so much character heavy, because I think you'll get more out of it over the other 2 films than here, because it is a very well-paced movie and tries to go from one place to another really quickly. But this is one of those things where I wish DreamWorks would be making more of this, but I understand why they don't. They want to be the carefree type animation, so animated studio, which is why we're going to get Boss Baby in 2017, which is probably, like, I will talk about that later when I get to upcoming films, but yeah, I got some stuff to say about that. Number 3 is probably going to be, and also another thing, what about the animation? What about the animation and everything like that? I don't rate films, I don't rate films based on, like, how great the animation is, because of how great the animation quality might be for some of these movies. I cannot overlook story and characters, because, again, with the mediocrity of these animated films, the animation starts looking somewhat the same, except some are more cartoony and some more realistic. And I cannot rate it really much on that. I can't, because some people like Some people like realistic, some people like cartoony, and some just kind of despise one or the other. And that's fine. That's fine with me. But I don't rate it based on that. But it helps if the animation helps the story and the characters progress. And then we come to our third movie, which some people are actually going to find shocking, and it's Zootopia. Is at number 3. And I would say, how is that number 3? That should be number 1. Well, I went back and looked at it, and I would say that the message in it, while it is really well intentioned and the dialogue is still very, very well done to convey that message, I would say that the message sometimes gets in the way of the story and becomes just a little bit preachy. Just a little bit preachy. And I don't know, if you want some my opinion kind of a little bit something a little bit, go watch I think the video is called What Zootopia Did Wrong or something like that, and it's from hotddemon.com, I think, and he does like these analysis type videos on movies and stuff like that, and you know he's a for somebody who's, you know, claims to be like, you know, someone who's laid back and chill, he has like, you know, good points on certain things. And for me, Zootopia, while it is still really good, it's not as good as I remember. I think I was just kind of a little bit hyped back then. So, but again, it's still one of the better movies of 2016. It's still one of the best, and I would still recommend it. I can't talk today. I would still recommend it because it's a really, really good animated film, and I would definitely show the kids. I think kids absolutely loved it. Number 2 on my list is actually Sausage Party, and I would say that the animation in there is not great, but coming from a studio that this is maybe, I'm not sure, probably their first animation gig, I would say. I would say that the characters and the story and the message actually really, really help, and it was funny. It was probably one of the only animated films that I generally laughed at because of its absurdity and its really dark sense of humor per se, and its message about, you know, religion and whether or not to follow it, and the terms of anti-religion in there. I would say that, you know, it's a more powerful message than something like Zootopia with the racism and everything like that. I think Sausage Party just does it better with its message while still conveying a comedy, because Zootopia, I can tell whether or not it wanted to tell a story and whether or not to say a message. And that's the thing. Tell your message, but make it convey in the story. Make it well executed. Make it well executed and well paced, and you'll have a great film like Sausage Party right here. And this was probably the most funniest animated film that I've seen in 2016. But it does not come to my number 1. And that, of course, is Kubo and the Two Strings. Of course, I love this film. I think it's like a second best film next to Coraline, because Coraline will always have a nostalgia in my heart. I cannot let that go, and I love Coraline for a lot of different reasons. But Kubo and the Two Strings is something where I think this was like one of those anime films, again, to make me cry, and I just give extra points to animated films that just can make me sorrow and bawl and everything. And this was beautifully, beautifully animated. I still can't believe stop motion is still being done today in animated features. And I wish this film did better, because it did not do well in the box office. And Laika has been getting like less and less money since Coraline. Coraline was probably their biggest hit, and then it got less and less. But you know what? People should still go see their movies if you support the artwork. But apparently, you know, some people just want, you know, not that type of movie or not that type of story. And I think that's I think that's so much BS because you're just missing out, guys. You're just missing out on some great animation. You're missing out on some, fantastic visuals. But you're like, hey, story, characters, and the story about this boy trying to journey across the land to go and find some mythical weapon with these two characters. I think that's really really fascinating. You'll get a lot of conflicting minds as you go through this movie, and what they do at the end is probably the most adult thing that I've seen this year. And I don't want to give it away, but something happens to the character and how they resolve the villain and everything, and it's something that I haven't seen at all probably in any anime film. Maybe I'm missing an anime film that does that at the end, but that just left me in awe, and I loved it for that. I loved how the way it ended. I just love Kubo and the Shoestrings. I love the first 10 minutes of the movie. What can I say about Kubo and the Two Strings? That I just go see it. Just go see it. Go buy it on Blu-ray, because God, Laika can't get enough love, and maybe that's why Laika is probably it's not the best movie studio to me, because that still kind of goes to Disney for me, but Laika is probably close second, I would say. Laika is still like top tier for me in animated studios, and I can't wait to see what Laika does next. If they do anything next, I don't know. Maybe that billionaire Nike creator can't support them anymore. I don't know. But I just wish Laika would do a lot more. And we get movies from them every couple of years, and every time they have, they've been good. They've been good to great. And Laika is a studio that hopefully will never die. And if they do die, that would be the saddest day. That would be the saddest day for me. Okay, so animated films for 2017. Most of them, I don't know what to think of them, because honestly, it's kind of looking forward to being another type mediocre year, but who knows, maybe there could be some surprises. Like, February the 10th is the Lego Batman movie, which is probably one of the most anticipated ones that I'm looking forward to see. I'm not that huge fan of the Lego movie, but I think consistently, if they're going to go for one parody, I think it should be Batman, especially today with Batman and Superman just bombing right now. I think it would be amazingly great. And February 24th is Rock Dog, and I've seen the trailers for this, and it looks kind of like a straight-to-DVD type of release, but not as bad as Nora of the North, but I don't think it's something that I would be seeing in theaters. If I'm going to see it, it's probably going to be on, when it comes out, on DVD or something. March 10th is Boss Baby, and everybody's been complaining it's going to be the worst animated film next to Emojis, and everybody's going to say, oh, they're reminded of Nine Lives or something like that. And I'm hoping that it's good. I'm hoping that it's actually tolerable, per se. And I'm just hoping that it's not bad. I'm just, for the most part, mediocre at best. Maybe, I'm not sure. But, oh god. Sorry if I'm really tired right now. I'm just trying to get through this. I'm trying to get through this as probably, I don't know if I want to say as fast as possible. Yeah, as fast as possible. With me slurring my words. But, okay, next animated film, April 7th, is Smurfs The Lost Village. And we got a good time gap between April 7th and the next film that's coming out on the 19th. And we got a good time slap right there, because I think that's the only one coming out on April 7th. So we got Smurfs The Lost Village, which I'm actually looking forward to as well. I mean, it looks I mean, it looks beautiful. I mean, I grew up with the Smurfs growing up. Not that much, but I grew up with it. And seeing a cartoon like that come to life on the big screen will be absolutely a ball to witness. I hope they're more creative than those other live-action movies that we will never speak of again. And I just hope it's creative. I just hope it's really creative, and I hope that it'll get something out of me. Number 5 on May 9th is the Nutjob 2, which, why? I did not like the I did not like the Nutjob 1 to begin with, so why? Why would you do something like this? Why would you put Nutjob 2 when nobody's asking for a Nutjob 2? Which I probably will just rent or something. Number 6, on June 2, is Captain Underpants, and this is the other one by DreamWorks that they're also going to release other than Boss Baby. And I've seen the books. I've never read them. I just knew they were like popular at once when I was like in elementary school, and then they stopped being popular. So I think this is gonna be a little bit late on the arrival, but still, I mean, I just hope, again, it's not like Boss Baby, where it's just nothing but baby jokes and stuff like that. I just hope something like that, something somewhat entertaining. So that's what I hope. June 16th is Cars 3. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, the teaser. To me, I just looked at the teaser and said, this is Cars 3. What are you gonna do? Why are you suddenly caring that Lightning McQueen is getting trashed? This is Cars 3. I'm not going to be shocked if it sucks. Because I used to be kind of a somewhat fan of the Cars movies. And then I grew older. And then I knew how stupid they were. So, I'm not expecting anything from Cars 3, to be honest. Why does John Lasseter keep on making a pet project when he should be making more animated films that cater toward, a good demographic? So, that's why the best one working over there is probably Pete Docter right now. Or Brad Bird. That's probably the best two that is working at Pixar right now. Next is June 30th with The Incredible... I wish The Incredibles. I wish that's probably, Brad Bird needs to, really step up his game, with The Incredibles too, because if that fails, people are going to be so pissed. June 30th is Despicable Me 3, which is another one where I looked at the trailer and said, this franchise is kind of turning somewhat lame, I would say. I don't know. It depends on how funny or how, or how somewhat it holds up to the other Despicable Me movies, but it's kind of turning a little bit old, and I hope that this doesn't go on, because I know they make $1 billion every time they make these. So I hope this doesn't really go on, but I know it's probably going to go on. And we're going to see 12 of these before probably 2040 is out. On August 11th is everybody's favorite beating horse is the Emoji Movie, Express Yourself. Everybody's been going on. This has probably become the animated equivalent of Ghostbusters 2016. And everybody's just been kill the Emoji Movie. We don't want this. We don't need it. Why? Why are you making a movie about emojis? It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck, and I'm gonna tell it to the whole entire world that it sucks. If it does suck, it's gonna become the most mediocre thing ever. I would not say that it's gonna be the worst thing ever, because I've seen worse before. And people forget that they have seen worse either. Probably half of the people who dislike the video are not gonna go see the freaking Emoji Movie, and you guys know it as well. I'm sorry, I'm pissed off right now that people are saying, oh, it's so terrible, even though I haven't seen the movie, but terrible. I don't respect people who have that notion. I don't respect people who have any notion about, you can have thoughts, but saying that the whole movie's gonna be terrible because you saw one freaking trailer. No. Even if they release a trailer that, is worse or bad, I'm still gonna go see the movie, because you know what? I don't care. I want this to be good just so they can prove I'm wrong, but I think it's going to be like Ghostbusters, where it's not good, it's not bad, it's just meh, and that's probably the best thing that Emoji Movie can be. And, yeah, that's pretty much my rant, but I'm hoping it's good. But coming coming from a studio that's half and half, oh wow, half and half. Coming from a studio like that, I don't know. I had to see the movie, but fingers crossed. I don't know. September, but that's gonna be coming up in August actually, which no competition is gonna be there at all, which is weird. Why wouldn't Despicable Me 3 open up in July when there's like 2 more animated films coming out that month? But anyway, September 22 is the Ninjago movie, and I actually used to watch Ninjago, the series, when it first started, and then I kind of lost track. So, I don't know. I don't have any interest in a Ninjago movie. I mean, maybe they'll do something with it. I don't know. Maybe they'll parody themselves, but as of right now, I don't think I have really much interest in the Ninjago movie. Maybe it'll change if there's a trailer coming out, but I don't know. For right now, I have no opinions on the Ninjago movie. But I do have opinions on October 6th on the My Little Pony movie. And you've heard my review, or if you care, I just think My Little Pony is something that, it is one of the better cartoons out there, but I really think that Season 5 and Season 6 have dropped in quality in somewhat, because it's just kept on going on, and it's a series that's probably not going to stop anytime soon. So I hope they do something new. I hope they go back to what My Little Pony used to be about, you know. So I'm hoping that it just is better. I'm hoping that it's better than the TV show, because with movies and TV shows, they need to stand up on their own as well. I hope this does that without relying on the TV show. So that's pretty much all I had to say. November 2nd is Coco, the only Pixar movie I think that is actually going to be an original, besides their sequel. Besides going with their sequels and such like that. And Coco is something to where, expressing on the Mexican holiday, and people have a problem with, saying, oh, well, this is a direct ripoff of The Book of Life, which I think it kind of is a little bit, but I know how some people can say, oh, The Book of Life is, somewhat of a piece of crap or something like that. I mean, I like The Book of Life fine, but I think visually Coco might be a little bit of a step down from The Book of Life, but I think Coco would probably have a better story than The Book of Life. So I'm hoping that Coco does good. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the audience over there and the Mexican audience, maybe they're gonna support this. I mean, as much as people support Moana as being culturally diverse with their princesses. So I'm hoping Coco does well. I'm hoping it's a good movie as well. December 8th is The Star, and this is another Christian animated film which we haven't seen in a long time. I think probably the last one was Prince of Egypt, and I mean, I don't know, we haven't heard anything about The Star yet, but besides the synopsis, but again, I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping that it's good. I'm hoping that they can do something with this story, a new interpretation of the story, and it's from this perspective of the animals. It's kind of like Nestor, the long-eared donkey, per se, but I'm hoping that it'll be something like a very lighthearted, fun, Christian-based movie. At least that's what I'm hoping for. At least December 22nd is Ferdinand. I think that's how you say it. Ferdinand. I don't know how to say that, but it's the next original one from Blue Sky, and I'm hoping that it's good. I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping it's better than freaking Rio or Ice Age, and I don't know. I just kind of, when I look at Blue Sky, I think mediocre is probably the worst thing I can think of an animation studio thus far. So I'm hoping that this is good. I'm hoping that all these movies are good, besides, something like The Nut Job 2 or just a total cash grab, which I know that some of these movies are cash grabs. But I'm hoping that every animated film is good. I mean, I don't go in there wanting to animate movies to be bad, but you know, you can tell somewhat like how they're gonna be just by looking at the trailer sometimes. And it can either range from mediocre to I don't know how this movie's gonna be, but I'm hoping it's good. So that's pretty much my review for every anime film that I have seen at least. And hopefully this year that this will bring in some surprises as well. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, JC Animation Critic. See you guys later. Take care.